Hello, everybody. This is Brother Speak of the Brother Speak podcast. I was just seeing something earlier on BMT's panel about, we were talking about the cookout thing, referencing the whole thing with Tre the Hood. My opinion on that is there was just discussing things he was saying with the other guy, and BMT was right to kick him on the panel, kick him out of the group and everything. And I don't blame BMT. I know some people are trying to blame BMT for that. Well, let's be honest. There are a lot of people had that guy on their panels. So if you want to say BMT need to take an L, well, there's a whole bunch of black folks who this guy was on their panels need to take an L. And so if you want to, a whole bunch of people need to take L's. If we're not going to do that, then hey, mind your business. So, like I said, BNT came back. He took accountability for having on the panel. That's the only thing we can do in that situation. But during this live stream earlier that BNT had, there was a situation where Sheila E came on the panel and David came on the panel, and they were discussing something that happened on the earlier panel where David was just telling her the things that happened on that panel he didn't particularly like. And she was listening and everything was cool. But then here comes Cojamalik coming up there, want to confront them for how they're treating, how she believes they was treating Sheila E. And then Super Mike is trying to go over there, trying to defend her for defending Sheila E. And I'm looking at this as like, Sheila E didn't feel disrespected. Sheila E didn't feel any kind of way. They had a discussion. It was done. What are you jumping up off the porch for? Then you had some other goofball going after her. It just turned into a big whole mess. And so we had a little discussion on that, and it just shows that as far as black men are concerned, how we treat black women, we're all over the place. Now, I believe in protecting black women. There's nothing wrong with that. However, you do need to be careful that you're not trying to start a war where there is none. Because the situation between Sheila E. and David was handled. And she didn't feel disrespected. Because, trust me, Sheila E. can defend herself. I've seen her on the panels. She can defend herself. So if she ain't just being bombarded and nothing like that, is he had a disagreement how he was treated on that panel. She defended herself, and that was it. But then it's like Koji comes up there, how he gonna tell you how to run your panel, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, where are you getting this from? It's like you're trying to start a war over something that there was no need for a war for. He's saying how he was treated on that panel. He had his opinion, and that was it. Instead, it turned into, oh, he's trying to tell her how to run her stuff. He tried to control her and all kinds of goofy shit. And I'm looking at it like, dude, what are you talking about? Then you had Mike when they tried to confront Koja, then Mike got in there and talk about, oh, you can't talk to a woman that way. And I'm like, wait, Koja's the one started with them. So how the hell you gonna get on their case for something she started? That's the problem. It's one thing to defend somebody. I get that, protect somebody. But it's another thing you start a war with somebody over something that wasn't there. it's one thing to you want to protect people, but if they're not getting disrespected, you just don't like the way they talking to. How you gonna be abrasive? It's like screw you. If I'm not insulting her intelligence, I'm not insulting her. What the fuck? What do you mean? How I'm being abrasive? That's your opinion. If you don't like how I'm talking to her, that's your opinion. But if she don't have a problem, then what's the problem? But the thing of it is, we treat women. We don't know how to treat our women. We want to treat them as children, or we want to treat them as the those that don't need our protection. Then we want to treat them as children who can't defend themselves. As Lord knows, they can't speak up for themselves. They need somebody to speak for them, even though we know by history that some of these women can speak for themselves. It's like, okay, if you want to have that type of protection, I've suggested it's like, okay, let's just have separate panels for separate issues. If there's a situation such as child support that affect men differently than it does women, then women shouldn't be on the panel with men talking about it. That should be separate. It's just like abortion. If it affects men and women differently, they should be on separate panels to discuss it. And nobody should be jumping on there to discuss it. That's just my thing. You know, that's how I feel about that, because we can't be having situations where men and women are going to interact. And he's saying something about something he didn't like, and then you just got some woman going to jump in, say, "How dare you? You disrespected her." Like, what? And then some dude, yeah. I got to defend my women. I'm like, wait. There was no need for any of that. It's like you gotta pick and choose. And let me put it this way: if you got time, take the time to analyze the situation, and maybe just ask the woman if she felt offended or something like that. Maybe take the time. She was on the panel before you jump off the porch. Maybe ask them if they felt offended or not. Okay, because it's we want to treat these women like they can't defend themselves. Then we don't want to treat the women like they can. It sends mixed signals. And this is why we're having these issues where these guys don't know how to act towards these women, because we're sending mixed signals. And you wonder why guys are leaving women alone. They don't want to deal with them like that, because it's like it's on eggshells. If I talk to a woman a certain kind of way, some dude gonna jump in there, or some woman gonna jump on my throat. If I don't say something, they gonna jump on my throat anyway. So it's like, well, shit, I just don't want to deal with that. Period. You know, it's like, look, stop trying to start a war with somebody who ain't doing nothing. Where it doesn't need to be. It's okay to defend women. It's okay to protect women. But don't make situations worse than they have to be, especially when it's not necessary. That's all I'm saying. Because that happened, that bothered me. And it bothered me because it's not like it's not like it was necessary. And I could see David was going in on her, calling her out a name, saying she's a dog, she's an idiot, she's a moron, and stuff like that. Then I could see somebody coming stepping in. Hey, dude, you got a pocket. but he wasn't doing all that. All he just said was he didn't like how he was treated on the panel. She defended herself. That was it. They had a conversation. It wasn't no yelling back and forth, nothing like that. It was fine. But then you have Koja coming in, acting the fool. I'm like, dude, it's not necessary. It's just like I see with Iron Verbal about Bob Cherry. Like Bob Cherry is just this helpless old woman. And I've seen that a lot. I've seen that. I'm like, dude, Bob is not a helpless individual. She can defend herself. And trust me, she will go in on dudes with the quickness. She's not a helpless idiot. I think sometimes in the black community we treat women, we don't know how to treat women. We treat them like helpless idiots, or we treat them like these masterminds. I'm like, pick a struggle. That's just it's crazy. And so because the men don't know how to treat the women don't know how to treat the men because they got dudes who will protect them even though they do it wrong. Or we got dudes who are not going to protect them at all, even if they do it right. So it's like, because the men don't know how to treat the women don't know how to treat the men. So now it's just chaos. Now they're just like, fuck it, I don't want to deal with nobody. Now you got Kevin Samuels up there advocating, men should be with men. I'm like, what the blind fuck? What in the blind fuck is going on in this space, man? It's crazy. But yeah, it's going, it's crazy, man. And like I said, because we don't know how to control each other, we don't know how to check each other, we don't know how to interact with each other. That's why these other races of people come in, and then they just join up and continue the dysfunction. Because, like I said, Trailer Hood came in while we have all this animosity towards each other over certain things, and so he's aligned himself with certain people because, well, I'm going through the same thing you are. And that's how they get wormed in. That's how black women got wormed in with the white women on feminism. Well, yeah, we go through the same thing, but really you're not. Different dynamics. So it's crazy that there's the difference between protecting and starting wars. You don't start wars with people unless it's necessary. In that situation between Sheila E. and David, you started a war with David over what he said to her was not necessary. And nobody should have been defending that. Oh, well, she has an opinion. Yes, everybody has a fucking opinion. But you cannot have the opinion for them. Koja was trying to have the opinion for Sheila. Trying to tell Sheila how she's supposed to feel. You don't do stuff like that. You're basically saying she's a weak person. And I find that disgusting. You don't treat people like they weak and pathetic. We know she can handle herself. If she felt disrespected, if that was a situation that's what it was, then hey, I have no problem. But if that wasn't the case, why are you jumping in? You in your feelings. And people need to stop getting in their feelings so much and then make a situation worse than what it is. That's all I'm saying. But that's it. I wasn't going to be on here too long. All right. Y'all have a good one.